You guessed it, Tiny Track Cars is back, and this is Rainier Rally Event 1 Finals. These 4 cars will be battling down our double jump track, and at the end of this video, we'll have one winner crowned victor of Rainier Rally Event 1. Let's see the bracket, see how these cars got here. We see our final 4 as they enter the finals and all the people who they've whooped along the way. Race 1, we have Lone Star driving for Live Young Diecast in that Evolution. He's racing Grey Wizard from Golden Owl Racing in another Evo. Here they are lined up for Race 1. Lone Star in the close lane, Grey Wizard in the far lane. Grey Wizard gets the early jump, but Lone Star comes back quick, bounces off those jersey barriers, and I'm not sure what happened to Grey Wizard there, but he bounced back onto the track. There you see it. Lone Star heading out front, cuts off Grey Wizard just a little bit, bounces off those jersey barriers, and Grey Wizard looks like he misses the track exit, which goes back to the starting line. He decided to stay on the track, rattle his brains a little bit, and hang out by the finish line with the camera guy because he's still alive. Lucky for him. All right, Lone Star, Race 1 winner. We are heading to Race 2. They switch lanes. Lone Star out front by half a car as they go over the first jump, nice and smooth. Grey Wizard spins Lone Star out, flips him over jump 2, but Lone Star is able to take it by 7/8 of one car, or one Evo, or one Civic, or 2 Fiats. Depends on what car you're driving. Or 0.3 semi-trucks. Just kidding. All right, Race 3. Lone Star takes an early lead again, cuts in front of Grey Wizard, and again rolls across the finish line on his roof. He will take the victory of this grouping and move on. Thank you to Grey Wizard for competing in this first tournament. We hope to see you back at the track. Let's meet the next 2. John Alexander driving for Spoolheads Racing, going against Uncle Elvis, who is the reigning champion of Candy Mountain currently, in another Lancer Evolution. John Alexander in the close lane, Uncle Elvis in the far lane. Alexander gets an early jump. Uncle Elvis seems to come back. John Alexander pushes against him, and they slide across the finish line. I'm not sure who won that. Let's go take a closer look. John Alexander out front by a bumper. Looks like Uncle Elvis wants to come back, but John Alexander cut him off. Uncle Elvis bounces off the jersey barrier. I'm still not sure who won that race. Let's look at another closer angle. It looks like the judges have said that one is too close to call. They cannot tell who won that race, and they're going to stay in the same lanes and rerun. No points awarded, rerun. John Alexander out front fast. Cuts off Uncle Elvis, racing dirty out there. But he will take the first victory and 1 point. Again, these are best of 5 races, which means the first driver to win 3 races down the track moves on to our final 2. John Alexander out front by half a car as they go over the first jump, pushes Uncle Elvis off of the track. Uncle Elvis lands on his side after that. Look at that. 2 wheels off the track, still is able to hit the jump, lands on his side, and bounces back to his wheels. He did lose that race, but I commend him for even finishing in that condition. John Alexander, 2 races. Uncle Elvis, 0 races. Switch lanes again, and they are off. John Alexander out front early again, and wow, Uncle Elvis gets pushed in the jersey barrier by John Alexander and gets shaken up a little bit. Let's take a closer look at that. John Alexander pushes him there. You can see him hit the jersey barrier and bounce directly back towards the camera. Man, that had to rattle his brains. Good thing these cars have roll cages and these drivers wear helmets. But sometimes that still doesn't save these drivers from catastrophe. Let's take a look at that from another angle. Man, that had to rattle Uncle Elvis's brains. I hope he's okay. Congratulations, John Alexander, for moving on to the finals. Uncle Elvis, thank you again for competing at our track. And these 2 need no introduction. We have Lone Star and John Alexander. This is the final 2. This is for all the marbles, all the jelly beans, whatever you have. This is for all of them. first car to win 3 races, is crowned the champion of Rainier Rally Event 1. John Alexander off to an early start, but Lone Star is coming back. Will Lone Star be able to come back? It looks like a close one, but I do believe John Alexander was able to take that one. Look at Lone Star trying to make that comeback. A little bit of contact there as they go over. They're both a little wide. Looks like John Alexander actually landed on the side median, cut back towards the center, and was able to take that. Look at that. 2 tires off the right side of the track, but does take the victory in race 1. Switch lanes. Here they go. John Alexander off to an early start again. He will cut Lone Star off and take the victory. He is clearly faster off the line, and as soon as he gets out in front, he seems to be cutting off the other driver, aka blocking, allowing them not to pass and taking the victory. The bottom end of that Audi Sport Quattro is just too fast. There he is out front again. The Lone Star this time comes back and gives him a taste of his own medicine, cuts off John Alexander and takes the victory. Watch this. John Alexander out front by a bumper. Lone Star comes back, cuts off to the right. He says, if you do this, I'll do this. And there you have it. Lone Star wins by the roof of his car. And this is a fun angle because you guys can see that John Alexander was actually outside of Lone Star and had the opportunity to pass, but did not. All right, 1 win Lone Star, 2 wins John Alexander. Will Lone Star be able to come back and take this victory? John Alexander out front again, Lone Star coming back, and John Alexander again pushes Lone Star off the track. John is driving dirty out there, folks. Let's look at this. Lone Star pushes him up on the curb there. John Alexander turns back hard to the right, and Lone Star is up on the curb, and he just keeps pushing. Lone Star is unable to make the jump and clips the landing and spins out of control. As you see John Alexander landing with 2 wheels off of the track, riding the berm down across the finish line. Medical crew is checking on Lone Star as we speak, but let's continue to watch these replays as you see him pushed off the track and flying. He actually left the complete track surface and went straight to the ground. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of Rainier Rally Event 1. He might have been an underdog against 3 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolutions, but John Alexander in that Audi Sport Quattro driving for Spoolhead takes the victory. This has been a Tiny Track Cars production. Thanks for watching.